Alright guys, I just got off of this bus. Super easy from the airport. 6 lei, 33 cents. I would happily take this again. I might take a taxi in the morning though, just because I'm leaving super early, but I would highly recommend just taking this. Like, so stop messing with taxis. When you're coming to Chisinau, Moldova.
Я тебе говорил, что вокруг надо... You want to beat me? You want to beat me?
Hotel's here. It's like 1 meter. Don't touch me. Do not touch me.
Oh my, this is shocking. What is Johnny FD up to? Man, he looks like a bit of a madman. A danger here in Moldova. Greetings from Chisinau. Salute. Actually, I see some police officers over there. I wonder where they were when Johnny FD was trying to force himself into that private property. Man, I can't believe that this guy puts this on YouTube and is not worried about maybe having some issues with the law here in Chisinau, Moldova. So in this video, I'm going to try and be constructive and review it, react to it, and let you know what I think, basically how you need to avoid in general behaving like this if you're traveling anywhere in the world, because you don't understand the local laws very well, probably like you would back home, and a lot of things you might assume might not be that way in reality when you're in a foreign country with a different set of legal traditions than maybe in the United States. So let's get into it. High submersion. So now that I'm inside in my Airbnb with my laptop in front of me, let's go react. First of all, this is kind of strange, but these events about to react to happened in December 2023. And actually, I got tagged in Johnny FD's Instagram, strangely enough, because Johnny FD is a character reacted to many times on my channel. Link some of those up on cards down below in the video description. You want to go and check out the other reaction videos. And yeah, you've been living in Ukraine.
Hello and welcome to potentially my new home here on the left bank of Kyiv, Ukraine.
He made a lot of content before the 2022 invasion that was questionable in terms of the veracity, and he was pumping out a lot of pro-Kremlin talking points. Actually went on Russia Today, which is the Russian state propaganda channel in English.
Well, Johnny, thank you for being with us. First, what city exactly are you in?
And then he was hanging out at the beginning of the invasion in Kyiv with Ben Rich, aka Bolden Branko, the guy who's been apparently made persona non grata, been refused entry here to Ukraine, had to leave Russia. And then afterwards, Johnny FD, to his credit, made a lot of content supporting Ukraine, obviously in this time of extreme need as the country faces an existential battle for survival against the Russian invaders. So I've reacted to him. I understand he's maybe not my biggest fan, but anyways, I got tagged, and this Instagram account, Manuel Reinders, I guess, Reinders, says, Connor Klein says people should come to Moldova, and Chisinau is the place to be. Is he wrong? And Johnny FD replies, he's wrong about most things. Someone else says, curious as to why Connor is wrong, and you and $6 Ben are always right. Can you elaborate? But anyways, Johnny didn't elaborate, so this made me aware that something was going on. I thought, okay, maybe Johnny had a bad time in Chisinau, Moldova. Maybe he didn't like the infrastructure is not the best here. Maybe he got scammed. He didn't like the food. I was trying to think of plausible things why he was so negative, because I saw that the title of his video was, "This is why Moldova isn't built for tourists." Okay, it's maybe, you can see different stats on this. It is probably the least visited country in Europe by tourists. It's also pretty small, like the population is under 3 million, so it's not Poland or Germany. Obviously it's a little bit harder to get to as well, but maybe with the Russo-Ukrainian war, and maybe it's no longer the bottom in terms of visitors. I'm not sure how many visitors Belarus or Ukraine. Russia's still big, I guess it gets still a fair few visitors. So to make this video a little bit more educational about if you're traveling somewhere in this region, the region I dub New Europe. So basically the countries between Germany and Russia that are not under Russian control. So countries like Poland, the Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, here in Moldova, also Romania, maybe Czechia, Ukraine as well. There are some things you can really learn from this because, yeah, there are a few mistakes made. A few questionable choices were made by Johnny here. So first of all, he starts off, actually he had a previous video, I took a bus from Ukraine to Moldova, and he shows up at the airport, and then he has a few issues. So let's play this first before we get into the shocking content, the more shocking content at least.
Wow, it's nice in here and clean. Well, it looks like none of the taxi apps work. Here is the bus, guys, number 30. Looks like I haven't missed it yet, which is good. So I was actually trying to call a taxi for the last maybe 20 minutes, but none of the apps work. So Uber doesn't work here, Bolt doesn't work here. Uklon looked like it worked here, but after 10 minutes, they didn't find a driver. And then Yandex is the only one that actually does work here, but I couldn't get my Yandex account approved, probably because they're Russian and they're sanctioned. I tried with 2 different phone numbers, my Ukrainian number and my US number. Didn't work, so I'm gonna take the bus, guys. Here I am.
So this is Chisinau Airport, and he's come out. He has tried to order a taxi on the other apps he's been using in the region, but unfortunately, they're a bit different here in Moldova. They're actually local taxi app. That is something I always impress on my clients, that you should have the local taxi apps downloaded on your phone with your credit card already typed in there, so that when you arrive in the new country, there's actually free internet at Chisinau Airport, so you don't have a problem with connectivity, and you can buy a SIM card normally in the airport as well, so that you have connectivity straight away, internet. This is vital, because you see there are taxi drivers outside. Maybe they would be honest about the price, but in a lot of countries, it's not the case. And even those within the European Union, it's not the case. I've talked to guys as consulting clients, that I'm advising about real estate in the region. And yeah, one of them told me that he got completely scammed in Warsaw, just outside the train station. I think he was going from the train station to maybe the airport. They charged him a crazy, crazy amount, a few $100. It's less than €10, €10 basically, taxi ride, because yeah, he didn't know how much it should cost. He didn't have the local taxi app downloaded. I'm not sure he had connectivity, maybe a connectivity from his telephone provider, but you want to make sure that when you arrive, local taxi apps downloaded. Taxi drivers, unfortunately, it's a profession across the world where there's a lot of dishonesty, and they take advantage of tourists, people who don't know what the price should be or feel a little bit intimidated because it's a strange country. Moldova is fine. I don't think you would get assaulted or something if some scammer was trying to rob you. I just don't hear about these things here. But definitely local taxi apps, have them downloaded, have connectivity, buy the local SIM card. I always tell guys that now you can get eSIMs pretty easily from most countries when you arrive, or you can order them online. And then when you actually land, you have local rates. You're not paying some crazy amount for roaming, and you have full connectivity and the local taxi app credit card inserted, and you're good to go. So then you don't need to have to worry about the taxi mafia outside the airport. But anyways, Johnny's decided, because you can get a taxi, to take a bus. But this is the start of his issues. So instead of going straight to his hotel that he has reserved for a night in Chisinau, he decided to take the bus, and the bus is not going to bring him straight to the door. This bus is fine, actually, for going to the city center, but Johnny actually took a hotel that is not so far from the airport, from what I can see on the map. But yeah, it's not in the center. It's kind of a place I've never been in the city, I think. It's kind of a bit obscure. So also this bus from the airport is designed to bring you into the city center, because that's what most people are trying to do. So this starts off his adventure. Eventually he's dropped off. He starts to walk around with his luggage, trying to find his hotel.
Yes, here we are, guys. And it looks like this house is for rent, if anyone wants to live here. You get your own little smokestack, like a little castle. Just gotta figure out where I am. Probably over here. This is such a weird place, guys. I hope this is unlocked.
All right, so here he's come to the entrance of what looks like some sort of, I don't know if there's a business there or there's a gated community, and he is looking at Google Maps, and he thinks he can walk through what is clearly closed off here to get to his hotel. Is on the other side.
Hello? I need to go to Hotel Mini. Hotel Mini. Где гостиница?
Вон налево.
Ага.
Да?
Да?
Направо, тут по той стороне туда и тут угол.
Я не могу, pardon, no? Okay. Дякую.
Johnny does speak some Russian from this, and The official language here in Moldova is Romanian, but most people can speak or understand Russian at least. And that's going to be more widespread than English. English is spoken quite a lot amongst the younger, more educated Moldovans. In general, if you're outside of those kind of niche parts of the city, then probably the Russian is a lot more widely spoken than English. So there he's spoken to someone who's probably operating the gate, and he's explained to him that he needs to go around this complex. There is no a right of way through this property.
Guys, fucking really pissed off. The only other way is I have to go all the way around the school. I'm just so close to it. I'm like a 1 minute walk. It's on that street. They just don't want me to. These guys just fucking blocked off this fucking entrance.
All right, so he's tried to walk around and realizes it's a long way. He's got his luggage. That's his 27 minutes detour because, yeah, he can't walk through. But it's strange here on Google Maps. I don't know. It seems to tell him he needs to walk around. So Johnny should have seen on the map that there's no right of way here. He can see an actual street on Google Maps, but, you know, Google Maps is actually telling him to walk around. It's not telling him to go through Mini Hotel Chisinau through this particular street. So yeah, there is a street there, but it's obviously closed off as private property. Let's see what he does. Ah, he's back again.
Там тоже не могу.
Не туда. Вот туда, налево. Налево, потом направо. И тут по той дороге туда и в тот конец.
Блядь, это очень далеко.
Okay, so here there seems to be probably a security guard or someone there's like an observation tower. It's a bit of a strange place, this. And they're explaining to him, or the guy there is explaining to Johnny that he needs to go around, as is actually indicated on Google Maps. So Johnny's not having any of it.
А как по-другому? По-другому никак.
Конечно, тут.
Тут закрыто, понимаешь?
50 метров.
Иди вокруг, иди вокруг.
All right, so then it's explained to him that yes, it's far, he has to walk around, but this is obviously blocked. And it has a big barrier there, so it should be clear.
Это дорога.
Тут нельзя. Тут нельзя.
Это дорога. Почему не могу?
Ты мне будешь доказывать, что ли?
Это не private property. Да, давай.
All right, so now he starts to become agitated and starts trying to open the door and shake it. Not really advisable if you're in a foreign country that you start, I mean, he hasn't done anything, I guess, that's illegal. He just tried to, so far, and he's just trying to push the door open, but it is private property. At least it looks like private property. It's not indicated in Google Maps that you can actually walk through there, and there's, you know, there's presumably a security guard, someone manning the gate.
So I can either spend 20 minutes with my heavy bag walking around, or I'm just gonna fucking walk through. Like, next time he opens his gate to let some car in, I'm just gonna fucking walk through because it's bullshit. It's like, it's literally on the street. I'll show you on the map. This is a public street. They close this off for no reason.
So there he's insisting it's a public street, but on Google Maps, it doesn't say that he can actually walk through there from what he's shown. And why is he assuming it's actually a public street when it's blocked off?
Guys, this might be the last of me. Some fucking Moldovan hitman might come get me. But it's the principle behind it, guys. Hope you guys get to see this video.
All right, I'm not sure what the principle is. Exactly that he doesn't want to walk, and he should be able to walk through private property.
Someone behind the gate. No, I'm going there. The hotel's here. It's like 1 meter. Don't touch me. Do not touch me.
So now Johnny has come up with an ingenious plan to try and rush through the gate once the security guard is distracted by this driver who presumably has some permission to go through. Yeah, he's still on the street, so I guess the security guard can't touch him once he's on the street. I'm not saying this is not legal advice for Moldova, but that would be the general principle. He's still on the public street. He's not on private property yet.
Do not,
Вот дорога туда,
do not touch me.
Здесь нельзя, нельзя.
Who's this? What is here?
Не здесь, блин, не здесь, понимаешь?
What? Shimonia, it's right here. Я вижу. Это тут.
Что ты понимаешь? Иди, блин, за дорогу. Вот дорога туда,
Один километр.
Что ты не понимаешь?
Один километр. Зачем?
Бэй.
Зачем 1 километр?
Я тебе объясни нормально. Объясни нормально.
Это дорога. Это не private.
Бэй.
Это приват.
Что ты?
Это не приват.
Сейчас полиция сейчас заберут тебя.
Давай полиция.
Сейчас заберут тебя. Ты не будешь
Не.
Иди сюда, туда, блин.
Тут.
Нельзя туда,
Я
нельзя.
вижу.
Нельзя.
Who's your boss? Давай телефон твоя boss.
Johnny FD. Now he becomes confrontational, says that he shouldn't have to walk around for a kilometer, and the security guard is pretty patient with him, but he obviously doesn't want him to enter this property. So let's see how this develops.
Let me go. It's 1 minute. It's тут. I see it.
Вот
It's
дорога.
there.
Вот дорога. Туда,
Не могу.
Не можешь?
Не можешь.
Стой здесь.
Давай.
Стой здесь.
Не.
Ты хочешь пиздюлей?
Что?
Ты хочешь пиздюлей? Иди по-нормально иди.
Что? Пять. Сука.
Oof, now that escalated. So security guards come back inside the property, as you see, and Johnny FD has now kicked the gate. So this goes beyond just trying to see if it's open or not. This is definitely problematic, shall we say.
Let me in.
Сейчас полиция пойдет.
Yeah, I'm going now.
Ты лишь приму, не первый раз здесь.
Что это? Это Молдова или Россия? Это не Россия.
Что ты не закажешь?
А?
Украинец.
Да?
Не пускай, что отель мини-3.
Это тут.
Вот по дороге.
Не.
Налево и
Это
направо.
гостиница тут. 1 минут.
Что ты
Пойдем.
делаешь?
1 минут пойдем.
Закрыто, понимаешь?
Да? Давай.
А, так вот.
Это тут. Yeah.
Oh my God. So security guard tries to close, stops Johnny coming in again. He tries to kick his way through. So this is already problematic. I'm not sure which criminal offenses we're potentially looking at. I mean, I guess he hasn't actually physically trespassed yet, probably, but he's obviously potentially vandalizing private property. And yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to get. He's already committed more crimes in Moldova. Let's see.
Здравствуйте. Ты работаешь тут?
Да.
Моя гостиница...
Гостиница там, ребят.
Не, Google Maps
Я
говорила...
говорю, гостиница там. Вы... Гостиница тоже гостиница? Нет. Идете вот так в обход, вот так, через школу.
So again, someone else comes and tries to explain that he needs to walk around. I actually have a background as a lawyer. I used to work as a lawyer. That's why I'm a little bit more sensitive to the potential criminal offenses that Johnny has perhaps committed here in Moldova.
Это тут. Это недалеко. Давай, почему нет?
Нет здесь твоего этого.
Сука.
Ты пройдешь по-любому. Это частный сектор здесь.
Это не private sector. It's not a private house. Who's giving you money?
Мы лучше знаем, чем ты, понимаешь? Лучше знаем. Кто у тебя просит money?
Один дома люди давай деньги, да?
Нет,
Чему это закрыть?
15 домов. 15 домов. Частный сектор. Ты понимаешь это? Вот.
So there we go. The other workers explained to him, no, Johnny, this is private property. You don't have a right of way. There's 15 houses here. It's closed off. And yeah, Johnny potentially, I don't know, if they call the police, I mean, did he attempt to assault? Well, it's known as battery, right? Did he, because he's very aggressive towards the security guards. They could say, hey, I was in fear of being attacked. He tried to force his way in. So you got potentially battery and assault. attempts to trespass, got the whole trespass issue. And, then there was probably some other like misdemeanors, like causing a public nuisance. And yeah, basically, I guess also trespass is a public nuisance. But it's explained to him in clear terms, he does not have a right of way. And actually, when I went and looked at some other maps, not just the Google Maps, I'll put them up on the screen for you, for this address, it turns out, that they are clearly shown the checkpoints on either side. It seems clear to me that actually it is legally blocked off. Even on Google Maps, it doesn't say you can walk through in what he's shown. So yeah, I don't know why he thought he could walk through. It's pretty strange to me, but he's got it in his head that he has this right away. Let me know what you think. Do you think he was in the right? Maybe somehow these guys closed it off corruptly. I don't know. I mean, there's no evidence of that. And yeah, there is a street there. So maybe at one point you could walk through before it was privatized. But it looks pretty clear to me that these guys have a right to block off the street. But yeah, how would you have reacted? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Did Johnny overreact? Should they have called the police on him? Maybe Johnny would have gotten a lot of trouble. Maybe not. Maybe they would just said, please leave and stop annoying everybody. My professional opinion, right, is that you need to avoid these kind of incidents when you're in a foreign country, even more so than your home country. Because, yeah, I mean, in a lot of places, I'm not necessarily saying Moldova, but in a lot of places, they're going to believe their own citizens over you. And, okay, Moldova at the moment, it's more or less allied with the US in the sense that it wants to join Euro-Atlantic institutions in the future, most likely. And I'm not officially yet, other than the European Union, NATO, they aren't officially on any path to join, but the reality is with the Russo-Ukrainian war, they will be advised to get into those organizations in order to give them more protection if Russia were to advance through Ukraine and get to the border with Moldova. Moldova doesn't have a big army and is in a very vulnerable position to being invaded and then annexed. So yeah, they could end up in the same situation as Ukraine. So probably as an American citizen, Johnny is in a stronger position. But if he were somewhere, for example, where Americans weren't so popular, and it's not even guaranteed that the Americans would be so popular in Moldova if they're behaving like he is there, but doing it in a country where maybe Americans aren't seen in such a good light, big problem. And yeah, local citizens most likely to be believed over the foreigner, very common, and not understanding the local laws, which it seems here Johnny doesn't understand that he doesn't have a right of way. Recipe for disaster and ending up in the clanger. I guess, probably in Moldova, even if they called the police, I think they would have just tried to get rid of him, but they may have arrested him. He may have been charged with several things, as I've outlined here. And yeah, why take the risk? He could have just walked around. Okay, it's half an hour, but I think he spent more time arguing and potentially getting himself arrested than actually it would have taken for him to get to the other side. On the upside, he got a video that has 51,000 views. I guess he was able to monetize his shenanigans here.
Guys, I have been saved by this nice guy. He's gonna drive me there.
Спасибо. We found it, guys. Спасибо большое.
So then, basically, Johnny, some friendly local Moldovans, because in general, Moldovans are very friendly, as long as you're not trying to trespass on their private property. They actually bring Johnny to his hotel, so some good Samaritans help him out. And then he walks around the hotel to the other side and tries to look in at the property again.
Here's actually that gate. So maybe if he did let me walk over, I wouldn't have been able to get through. These fuckers sealed it up. On both sides. This is the last house on the street. And I don't know if I can show you guys. But basically, this guy, Yatut! Oh my god, that's Ochin Deliko. Slishkum Deliko is nice. But I could have just walked down this road like 5 minutes. But instead, he made me go all the way around.
I mean, that's kind of funny, but poor security guard is terrified of Johnny. Johnny, stop intimidating the locals when you travel here. So yeah. I mean, I guess the guy was just scared that Johnny was going to start trying to smash his way into the property again. Anyways, that's my reaction. Don't be Johnny when you come here to Moldova. There are lots of great things here, and yeah, I understand if this is his experience overall. He just came here, didn't come to the center of Chisinau, was hanging out kind of near to the airport. Had this incident where he basically almost got himself in a lot of trouble and provoke conflict with the Moldovans. Plus, he didn't have the local taxi apps installed on his phone, so he wasn't able to go and see the increasingly more pleasant city center of Chisinau and maybe enjoy the amazing wine, delicious food, and socialize with the native denizens of this city, Chisinau. It's not Paris or London, but it does have its own charms, as I outlined in my videos. And I'll also put some videos up on cards down below in the description where you can see a different side of Moldova, where you actually come here and are respectful of the local laws, get to meet the local people, maybe date the local beautiful girls. I'm sure Johnny isn't against doing something like that maybe in the future. And even though he's built up a bit of a reputation, I guess, here in Moldova. And yeah, just come and have an amazing time, because even if this isn't a very well-visited country, that's actually another reason to come here. You don't have the hordes of, first of all, horny tourists chasing the girls like you do in other parts of Europe. And yeah, it's just not very touristic. It's more authentic. So there are some of the pluses for Chisinau and Moldova.
SAR Experience.
So this video was obviously a little bit of an instruction manual for what not to do when you come to Moldova. But I'm sure that Johnny FD has probably been forgiven by the Moldovans. I doubt he's going to have issues coming back here, fortunately for him, if he decides. I don't know if he wants to grace us with his presence in the future. I think his friend or former friend, Ben Rich, $6 Ben Rich, he's had issues in the region. In Ukraine, he claimed, also in Russia. I'm not sure he can go to Belarus, but Moldova is a different kettle of fish, very welcoming people, and less likely to have issues here as long as you avoid those faux pas. And in any case, if you come here with the insider, as I'm known as by my clients, then we will avoid any of these issues. None of my clients have ended up been in scuffles or any sort of assaults, any sort of incident like that. And region that I bring my clients to is what I'm dubbing New Europe. So it is countries not just here in Moldova, in Chisinau, Ukraine, the 3 Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, Poland, increasingly popular, also all the way over just off the Central Asian steppes in Kazakhstan, cities like Almaty and Astana. So it is a premium introduction to city in this region, as I'm known, as I said, as the insider, your Irish boy here, by my clients, also known as the Special Forces. So basically, I have it all down on lock for you. Foreigners, when they come here, especially if they come from North America, I also have clients from Western Europe, Latin America, increasingly from Asia as well. And the biggest issue is you show up, you do a DIY, do it yourself, and you're inevitably going to be Billy No Mates. You're not going to have a local social circle. It's going to take you a lot of time to figure everything out. You also risk being scammed and stuff like that. So you definitely need to have a plan, and I'm your man with the plan here in Chisinau, or maybe it's up in Riga or somewhere else in the region. So my services are a premium introduction to the city. We are going to go out with my social circle. You're not going to be Billy No Mates here in Chisinau or somewhere else in the region. And we're going to go out and party hard in the spots that are the best fit for you, get you set up for potentially relocating. Depends on the city that you're going to. Obviously, most popular one has been Warsaw. There's a relocation. Also, Riga is starting to gain a bit of traction as well. Most of my clients are looking for, they're planning maybe to spend at least 3 months over the year in the city, maybe buy some real estate. Maybe they're going to need residency and a visa, all that kind of stuff. So you get access to my encyclopedic knowledge of over 10 years in this region. And this is the region with, in my opinion, the most beautiful women on average in the world, right, on this planet, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. So could be that you are taken by the leggy blondes, the land of the leggy blonde, which is somewhere like Latvia, can also be Estonia, where you have some of the tallest people in the world and some of the blondest. Obviously, if we go to Kazakhstan, in those cities, Astana and Almaty, most people are Asians, like 85% Asian, 15% European. In terms of descent, also Kazakhstan is a little bit in Europe as well, hence why I include it on our package. But people are super friendly. Almaty has amazing nature nearby. It's really phenomenal with the lakes, the canyons, and the mountains. You go skiing in the winter, very close to the city. Can be, obviously, the most popular, as I said, is Warsaw. Warsaw has not just the pretty Poles, it also has the cute Ukrainians and the beautiful Belarusians. So definitely a place that is of interest. Huge diaspora from both from Ukraine and from Belarus there. And obviously, you know, we've been here in Chisinau in Moldova. I used to say that it's kind of like the Latinas of the region. But then some American clients, they said, yeah, they're a little bit more like maybe the Argentinians, if that's what you mean. But not like, you know, maybe what typically Latinos are seen as in the US, so we more kind of Mexican looking. But anyways, they're kind of more, I guess, Italian in appearance than the other people in this region. And yeah, there's a kind of something for everybody, no matter what your tastes are, more or less in this region. And down below is my application form, and it is by application only. My in-person experience is our experience, because I have to make sure it's a good fit for you to be with me here in a city. And before you do that, you should go and check out some playlists. I'm going to put them up on cards up above. I've got 3 of them. First one is going to give you an overview of the different cities that I go to, some of them that I just mentioned. The second one is like a set of tutorials for dating the uber beautiful of this region, the 9 and 10s. And then thirdly, vodka series, not just vodka. We don't just do only that in this region, although there's plenty of vodka involved and other alcohols, especially here in Moldova with the wine. There I go in deep into the mentality of this region, and there is over 50 hours of content there, so be discerning when you're scrolling through. You don't have to watch it all in one sitting, but if you are new to the channel, definitely worth checking out that. And to cap off this video, in the words of a Canuck ice hockey legend, Wayne Gretzky, a man with origins in this broader region, in New Europe, man of Belarusian, Ukrainian, and Polish origins. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So application form down below. And on this quite pleasant, although it's gotten cloudy this evening here in Chisinau, as you can see. So on that festive note, I'm going to bid you o seară bună, pleasant evening from Chisinau, Moldova. La revedere.
SAR Experience.